So we're getting ready to head out for a night on the town. I want to find a watch that's going to be fairly dressy, but not too dressy. I wanted to have some brand recognition, but I don't want it to be one of those things where people are like, "Oh, that's a Rolex" right away. I want it to cost a bit of money, but I don't want it to be, you know, too expensive, right? But at the same time, I don't want it to be like, an Armatron that I got at Walmart. So it's got to be in the middle when it comes to price. It's got to be in the middle when it comes to brand recognition. It's got to be in the middle when it comes to the style and all that. I just want to kind of fly under the radar, right? I want to wear a nice watch that I feel comfortable wearing, but I also want to fly under the radar. And the brand and the model that comes to mind for me is probably a brand that you've all heard of, but the model maybe not so much. So the brand is Hamilton. And before you start kind of saying crap like, "Oh, well, Hamilton's owned by the Swatch Group, so they're all crap." No, stop that. The fact that they're owned by Swatch Group gives them the ability to be able to pull parts from their parts bin, should they want to, from very high quality end parts and use them in their models and still keep their watches inexpensive. Yes, they do have some that get up there in the $1,000, $2,000 price range, but for the most part, you can get a really decent Hamilton for under $1,000. And the one that I'm talking about today, you can get it for under $500, and that is the Railroad watch. And a lot of people don't know which one that one is. I'm going to give you a quick history on that. It's going to be just a shallow dive into history, not the deep dive, right? So I got the outfit picked out. I'm going to go with a little white shirt here, and I'm going to go with a little jacket here, and I'm going to do that whole TikToker thing. I'm going to throw it at myself, and then I'm going to be dressed. Ready? Here we go. Watch. Here we go. Wait, maybe I'm not doing it right. I don't think I know how to do that. I'll figure it out. Boom. Magic. Huh? Back to the studio. So Hamilton. Some people, when you say the name Hamilton for the watch community, they have mixed feelings. Some people feel that it's a great watch and it's something to be worn and cherished, and others think it's just crap. It's a throwaway. It's like, similar to a department store watch because of the fact that Swatch owns them. Swatch owns a bunch of companies, and some of them make some really great stuff. Look at Breguet, for instance. It evokes mixed emotions, right, with people when it comes to talking about Hamilton. And it's kind of the same with Rolex. Something that's popular tends to kind of get that mixed emotion. And I'm not trying to say Hamilton is as popular as Rolex. Of course, Rolex is in a whole different world when it comes to popularity and being sought after. Now, Hamilton's popularity, I'm talking more along the lines of that it's been featured in so many movies. The Murph was featured in Interstellar, and it's been featured in Tenet, and it's been, that watch has been featured in a handful of other movies. The Ventura was featured in an Elvis movie. I forgot, I think it was like Blue Hawaii or something like that, and it was featured in Men in Black. Like, that's their watch of choice, right? The Pulsar, which was the first LED wristwatch, was featured in James Bond Live and Let Die. So they've had numerous watches being featured in movies ever since even 1932, when they had a watch featured in the Shanghai Express. Long story short, I get it. Mixed feelings. Some people say that because they're owned by Swatch Group and they're using some parts that are recycled from their different watch companies, it's a bad thing. That's like saying that you don't drive a Chevy Camaro because they make Buicks. It's just silly. The fact that Hamilton can pull from the parts bin of Swatch Group, that's a great thing, because you're being able to pull some really great parts from some high-end parts bins and use them in your stuff and give people a great quality watch at an amazing affordable price. And the one that I'm talking about today is the Railroad watch. Hamilton, even though they're known for so many of the other lines of watches that they have, like the Khaki and the Scuba and all that, they cut their teeth with railroad watches back in the 1890s. The United States had a lot of issues with trains not being on time and collisions. And so Hamilton got in the pocket watchmaking game. A regular pocket watch. They got into the pocket watchmaking game, and they started making pocket watches to help out with keeping track of the time tables for railroads and for the trains. So the conductors would have them, engineers would have them. It was a standard. They sold 600,000 pocket watches. The Broadway Limited being their most popular one. It would be on a chain, and you would just put it in your pocket right here and pull it out and take a look at the time and make sure that your train was on time. And of course, on the other side here, you would, have a little picture of your best girl, and, just give her a little kiss and all that. Anyways, you get the point. Pocket watches. That was the way that they went. And they were known for having what's called like the Montgomery dial. So the Montgomery dial had prominent numbers all the way around the dial, including all the minutes. So you can plainly see what time it was. There was no mistaking that it was 45 minutes past the hour. And the Railroad Classic Hamilton watch here that I'm holding, it does harken back to those days of the railroad watches, which is what Hamilton was really known for. It's got, even if you look closely, it has a little wheel right in the middle. It's like a train wheel. It pulls from the steam engine trains, and it's got that little wheel with the markings around the dial. That's so awesome. And then on the inner dial, another circle, which kind of like symbolizes the hub of the wheel. And you have 12 o'clock going all the way around the dial of the watch back to midnight again. So 12 and all the numbers with Hamilton in the middle, and then automatic right below that. All very tastefully done. And all of the hour markers are nice and applied with the right touch of gold, and they're beveled just right. It all just looks really good. And then you have the gold of the watch itself. So the case, the 40 millimeter case, is PVD coated, which is a physical vapor disposition. Basically, they are applying the gold, thin layer of gold, actual gold, to the metal in a vacuum sealed chamber where they're applying it. It's really neat. And then it has a visible case back sapphire crystal. It has a stamped crown with a really nice feeling crown, which you can feel the beveling around the edges of the crown. It just feels really nice. You can turn it super smoothly. It winds so nicely. It's hacking, so when you pull out that crown, the second hand will stop. So it has a great feel to it. I like the way that this watch feels in the finishing. Around the side of the case, all the lugs along the side of the case, again, real fine brushes, and give it that little bit of texture when you rub your finger across it. I really like that a lot. That's just a great feeling. And on the back there, you have the visible case back with the beautifully machined parts inside of the case there, and then the Hamilton stamped H10 movement, which is very similar to the Sellita 2824 movement. It's an 80-hour power reserve. So you can wear this watch and have it fully wound and then put it down for 3 days and come back, and it will still have some juice in the tank. It's got a fold-over clasp, and again, also on the bottom of on the back of the clasp there, again, it's machined with that fine edge machining, and the whole watch just looks so classy and elegant, but yet not too elegant. It's understated. So really, when put it on, when you wear the watch, it really does kind of fly under the radar. You'll have people look at it and they won't know what it is, and then, you know, if you do have somebody that kind of glances at it again, they're like, hey, what is that? It's like, oh, it's a Hamilton Railroad Classic. People are so familiar with the Jazzmaster and other Hamiltons, but they don't really tend to know the Railroad Classic. And it's a great watch. It is on the more affordable side of their watches, but it's just a great watch in general. And again, with an outfit, you know, simple black jacket, nothing too spectacular. It just looks decent. So you can sit here, you can talk to someone, and you have your watch that's got a little pop of elegance, but not too much going on. The rose gold is nice, but the stainless steel one is just as beautiful and just as nice, especially with the white dial. But I do like the black face with the rose gold, with the black strap, which is leather with an alligator embossing, and then the white stitching. I like that combo because it can kind of still be worn with a white t-shirt because the white stitching. So it kind of still all vibes together and it looks right. And it's just a great watch to wear when you're going out in the town. It's comfortable. It's there, you feel it, you can tweak your wrist and move your hand around, and it's not a giant, bulking, huge timepiece that's taking up all the space on your wrist. And it wears well. That's the main thing. That's the main thing for me when it comes to watches in general, is something that wears well. And then I also like the fact that you can just simply pop off the strap and slide it to another little hole there, should it feel slightly tight, as opposed to something you really have to tweak and mess with and resize and all that. It's just a simple moving and sliding of the little pinhole to the next one on the strap itself, and makes it so easy to be sized. It's just a great overall feeling watch. I love this watch. And I've had it for almost, I believe, 7 years now, and I wear it a lot, and the gold is still perfect looking. It has not peeled, has not worn off, it hasn't patinaed, and it just looks great. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy it. Check out Hamilton, and if you like the videos, please like and subscribe too. I really appreciate that. Anyways, gonna head out, gonna go have some fun. Hope you guys have some fun too. Catch my next video, because I'm going to be announcing the G-Shock that we're giving away for January the 1st, and it's going to be something special. It's going to be a little bit more pricey G-Shock than I'm used to giving away. It's going to be like my way of saying Merry Christmas to you guys. All right, talk to you guys later. Have a great one, and goodbye.